Hey, the TinyT Prepper here, and I'm planting a couple more trees. These are both apple trees. Now, I have a few others that I talked about that I planted. And where these are going, I got one avocado that didn't make it. So rather than plant another avocado here, I think when I get some more cold varieties, I'm going to try a different location. This is kind of exposed up here, so that you get the brunt of the cold up here on the top, which is what the apples do need. You know, they need some chill, which we don't get a lot of here near Austin. But down this direction, our property goes all the way down to the woods down there. I think when I do, I'll get some clear land down there, and I think what I'll do is when I start planting some trees and raspberries and stuff, I think I'll put some avocados down there so they have the protection of the trees from the cold when it freezes in the wintertime, and maybe I'll give it just enough boost that it'll protect it. So I know they need full sun for avocado, but I'm trying to get them somewhat protected, so we'll see what happens on that. But anyway, back to the trees I got here. I was on my way back from Wisconsin, and I saw a nursery in northern Iowa there, just across the border from Wisconsin. Wisconsin, where I grew up, has a lot of apple orchards, and this one is called Colonnade Bolero Apple. Now, what's neat about these, they call these, I think it's called a pole. Yeah, kind of a pole apple. And what it means is these grow up, if you can see it on here, about 8 to 10 feet, but they only have a spread of about 2 foot. So when you look on the orchard, I saw a lot of these planted in the orchards. They're only planted about 4 foot apart. They're just planted really close. I've never seen apple trees planted like that. Now, this is zones 4 through 8, and it's good down to -30. We're right on the southern edge of that 8, where these may or may not produce fruit. You know, I may just get a couple trees that look nice if they don't produce fruit and flower in the spring, if they don't get enough cold. But I'm hoping that being 8 that they might go ahead and produce here. And I did buy some good size trunks on these. You can see these aren't small, so they'll have a good start that way. But the apples on these grow really close in. They don't grow very far out. They don't have a lot of branching. They go kind of straight up and go like that. So the other one's a little bit different variety. This one I'm going to plant close to the fence over there for that avocado was, and the other one I'm going to bring out here in the second row. And let's take a look at the other one. Again here, this has the same type of growing features. This is a Colonnade Flamenco apple. So it's just a little bit different variety, but it has those same features where it only has a 2 foot spread, grows 8 to 10 foot tall, and same as far as the zones. The other ones were zone 7, so I knew I looked at they wouldn't work, but I ran across these that said zone 8, and we're right on 8, 9, so hopefully these will be hardy enough for the south, for the warm weather, that they'll go ahead and produce fruit. I'm hoping so. Anyway, it goes straight up without any side branches, and that's what they had is up there in a lot of the orchards I saw planted. So anyway, I'll get these in the ground. I'll follow the same procedure. I dig a hole that's bigger than that by about 1 foot, and then deeper than that by about 3, 4, 6 inches, much as I feel like I'm up to digging out, and then I fill the dirt back in. What that does, it breaks up the dirt. This dirt's been sitting here for a long time, so it's pretty well packed down. And what I'll do is I'll loosen that dirt up. That gives those roots from that root ball a little bit of a chance to expand in. So hopefully I don't have to run and get any dirt when I get these in the ground, that there's enough there. So, and I may have some in the garage, I can't remember. But anyway, let me get the holes dug and get these started planting. But Bolero's going to go next to the fence, and the Flamenco is going to go out in the second row. I always do that in case something dies. Later I don't have the tags on there, but I can go back and check my videos and see which ones they are. So it's planted down from the avocado, and I think that's one next to the avocado there. Out a little bit is a pecan tree. And I'm thinking about relocating those because those do get kind of tall and big. They grow pretty slow, so I figured maybe the apples, if they didn't do anything, or the avocados didn't do anything, that these would be all right here. But they're kind of close to a drain field I have, and those roots would be right on the edge of going into those. So we do get dry spells, and those roots tend to go towards the water. So I may relocate those to a different spot eventually, but I want to keep them in the ground right now, and maybe next winter, when they're dormant like this, it's a good time to transplant those. So I may transplant those next year once I'm sure which ones are going to survive and live, and then I'll go ahead and take the time and transplant those. But anyway, get these dug, and we'll go from there. Okay, you see I got my helper here, and I got the hole dug, but I think I'm going to dig that just a little bit bigger. It's pretty close to size. It's a little bit bigger around these pots and the ball that's around the roots there than what I originally thought. I'm going to give it a little bit more room to expand out the sides, and maybe even just slightly deeper that I'll fill back in, although that's kind of sitting up from the center part there, which is a little bit deeper, so it may be good that way. But I may just loosen that up and not dig any more out of the bottom, but I'm going to enlarge the surrounding part a little bit. Okay, I like that hole just a little bit bigger, and it gives me a little bit more room for those roots to spread out with the loose dirt. So I'll crumble that dirt up and put it back in, and I'll put a little bit more down, because maybe just a little bit, and raise that up just slightly. I want that trunk to be just as high as the ground around it, so it doesn't sit there and have water soak into it, because I do have drip irrigation on it, which is good, but I just don't want water to puddle up around the roots. So I will raise that up just slightly, and it'll settle down some anyway with the loose dirt underneath now. So I'm kind of preparing for that too, so I'll raise it up about an inch maybe or two above the surrounding part there. That way when it settles down, it'll end up being even with the ground around it. Alright, let me go ahead and get that out and get the pot off of it and get the tree in there, and I'll probably loosen up the dirt around those roots since they're in that ball there. I'll kind of work those out a little bit before I fill in the dirt, just to make sure they're not just going to keep going around in circles. They tend to get root bound in pots like that. They go a lot of roots, and then they just circle around, and you want to kind of feed those so they start out already into the new dirt, and they'll grow a little bit quicker. Now this will probably stay dormant for a little while till of course we got warm weather here compared to up there, but it may come out of it for a little bit. But most of the trees are starting to go dormant just because of less sunlight than what they had there earlier. Alright, well, let me get that pot off and get this one in the ground. I want to show you what I meant there by the roots getting in that ball. As you can see, there's nothing coming towards the outside on that, and all I do is when I put that down in the hole, I'll just get in there and kind of break those out, and so that they're, see, I just get on there, just kind of tear that out of there. So anyway, I got zoomed in there so it was awfully big, but get in there and just work those loose so you get some roots coming out the outside. I'll do that all the way around, all the way up and down at the bottom, and work those roots free, and that way they'll grow out easier, have an easier start then, rather than trying to, otherwise they'll tend to kind of keep in that circle there, not come out of that ball right away. So anyway, let me get this in the ground and get the dirt around it.